Hello everyone, I am Magdala Ramirez. I come from the Maya Mexica tradition. I'm very happy to be with you today. I do want to tell you that we do have a school online and the next trimester starts in March 21st, equinox. And there is so much work to do because this equinox, it is a completely different story. It is the beginning of the new era. It is the beginning to a new world that it is going to be very much coming out from your heart, from that understanding of who you are. There is so much intensity in these waves, in this energy coming into this planet at the same time that coming out from you. The intensity of so much that it is going on and how to understand it. Yes, there is so much healing to do to comprehend that higher culture of where we're going as a human being, where you are going into that place within yourself of remembrance. We are entering into a new wave. This new wave is also called Xochitl, means flower. It is your time to bloom. Now, how you're gonna bloom when there is so much that it is stopping you to understand yourself in a higher manner, when it is stopping you to make the realization of the self and put it on all these things that you know. For such a long time, we have been talking about the sixth sun, that it has been prophesied by the ancestors of many, many tribes, as stories that it is telling you that it is the time to understand your multidimensionality at the same time that you're being bombarded by the third dimensional reality constantly putting you down and you allowing it because that's what the past generations have done, thinking that life was something that it happens to you instead of you understanding yourself as life, instead of you understanding that you are living in a holographic reality, that it is you the one that it is pushing that button, and that it is you the one that it is able to change it by changing your perception of reality. All your relations are happening inside of you. You have all the aspects within your own self, yet you're being told that becoming you and being you, it really creates a very different story. How can you find you? You need to reach you. You need to understand yourself in a different way. And when I said this, is that original human being that you are, that divine spark that you have always been, that spirited human being that it is able to see and operate through your light body. And when you perceive yourself and see yourself as that light body, as a blessing for everyone around you, for your family, for your community, for yourself, it is truly guiding your way and removing all these parts that are popping up that still need some attention for that healing. This time, when you understand what it takes for that flower to bloom, First, you need to recognize that, the seed of a rose is gonna bloom as a rose. It's not going to bloom as a daisy, huh? So it is for you. You're blooming. It is so completely unique. It is so completely in that understanding of love that you are. That original vibration, it's very, very unique. You're having an original experience because what you call the one that created you never repeats herself. She creates that uniqueness. You come here with a purpose, and that purpose is being revealed as you begin to be you, as you remember who you are. These teachings of the feminine, that it has been absent in the world for many, many generations, now it is leading the way to understand this new era, to understand this new culture, and how to reach and understand the evolution, the next evolution of the human being. As you begin to just pellet up all this programming of separation, all this programming that it was installed in you in order to find you in that uniqueness, you're gonna find so many lies that for a long time struggles you. It might be that you're gonna find so much pain and suffering that it was inflicted in you, many traumas that it was inflicted in your family and you inherit. There is so much of that commotion. It is this thick layer of separation, thick layer of pain, that if you stay there in that pain, it's gonna just drag you down. But if you can see and change your perception of pain, it really will create a very different story. There is so much of that suffering in the human being. It's true. And that suffering, it does need to be expressed and revisited. You cannot hide it or cover up. You're sensing it. You're sensing it in a very deep manner. And when I said sense it, it's very important because one of what it is happening in that next evolution, it is increasing your senses. You're becoming much more sensitive. You're becoming much more aware, and you're doing this through your senses. Through pain and suffering, your senses was limited. And you must remember, you see, when you see something, you send information to your brain, and your brain immediately decode what you're seeing. It doesn't matter what you see. Now, this time is completely different. When you are increasing your potential of your senses and begin to feel it without denying it, you are able to create a very different story, because it is not the same route in your brain. You're beginning to use the brain from the heart. When you allowed yourself to feel, so feeling absolutely everything and recognizing what are you feeling is really creating the next evolution of the human being. And you have this power, and you have always had this power. It's just that for such a long time you deny it, or take it for granted, or when you express it, you was minimize it, saying that doesn't exist, that didn't happen. And once that you begin to understand that new information coming, it is creating the new path for you. For example, when you enter into a room, you can feel what's going on in that room. When you see a person, you can see and feel what that person is about. And feeling it and sensing it without cover up or without the mind interfere and said this is not happening. Without limiting your senses constantly. It is your work. It is your spiritual work to allow you to feel. The patriarchal system wanted to regulate that feeling, wanted to regulate those emotions that you were so afraid to look into it for a long time. And because of this intensity of the time, they are popping up constantly that you need to revisit. And you're revisiting memories that you thought that they were all buried long time ago, or even thinking that you already work on it and it is coming out again, means that you do need to revisit and sense it. Now, when you are able to see those memories and feel whatever it was, and then disconnect the story from it. It is always a story that validates that sensation of pain and suffering. And that story is connected to many other stories more that sustain that pain and sustain that part in you that you feel that woundedness. When you cut the stories and being able to observe it without the story and sense it in your body, where does it feels? What happened to you? Immediately that transmutation, it is taking place because you're disconnecting that neural network about it. You're healing that place in you that it needs to be healed in order for you to create a very different story, for you to understand that original creator in you. And right now that it is so intense, just before the equinox, you're having, through this wave, the opportunity to observe that place in you that it has been sabotaging for a very, very long time. That place in you that it is coming up and it is impeding the senses to be, impeding those senses to understand yourself in a very different manner. When you are able to comprehend yourself in that way, you are able to also revisit every single relation that you have. What do you feel when you think about your dad? When you think about your mother? Your children, your husband? Or men in your life? Or women in your life? All the relations. And what happened to you? Do you just push it away and try not to feel it and still have grudges and, being angry about situations with that person? Or are you able to finally forgive? Forgive yourself, forgive that person because of that liberation. And revisit what happened. And again, feel it in your body and be brave and feel it truly in your body and disconnect the story behind it. You must realize that a lot of people that have hurt you in some way or another help you to grow spiritually. You find another way. You find another understanding of yourself because of what happened. I can tell you, we have so many books. This is kind of funny. As you know, English is my second language. But there was this person who came to me long time ago, long time ago, when I was just beginning to bring these teachings in the United States. And he told me, where are your books? And I said, I can't write. I don't even speak English. What do you mean? And he says, I don't know what is the impediment about that. And I really think about it and take it to the mother. And then the mother begins to tell me what it is the books that it needs to be written. And very much I sit in my computer and begin to hear the voice and just pass it through my fingers. And it was such an amazing thing because I have so many people when I was doing that saying, you cannot write. You don't even speak English, And that was very, very important for me to realize that there was this force inside of me that says, okay, well, watch me doing it. Good thing that I have amazing sisters that they do speak English and edit the books. And that was very, very powerful times. Most of the books, that's where it comes from. Some of the books come from ceremony. A whole information of downloadings that it come out in there. And then you have the challenge of how do you put it in an organized manner that it will make sense for the people. And you're using your heart to decode that. A lot of people in your life that they told you, no, you cannot do this. You can turn around and say, well, watch me doing it. It was a challenge. And many situations in your life that people that create that woundedness in you, or you allow it for that to happen, you can see it more like, hey, it's a challenge. I'm not going to live the way that you tell me to live. I'm not going to keep on giving you my power. I'm going to forgive this in order for you to move on and keep on walking, because that keep on walking is going back into your original vibration, and to understand that amazing and beautiful original creator that you are, having an original experience. Finally being able to see that new thing in your life. Something new, this new world, instead of bringing the energy of the old one and trying to put it in the new one. In order to see that, a whole new beginning, it is within your own self. It is within you, that original experience. It is happening. You don't need to copy somebody else's. You don't need to hold on into the old world, for you are that original creator. Think about this deeply in how to do this, in how this new world is happening. How to see that new experience within your own self. I want you to go to our website. It is magdalas.com. That is MAGDALAS.com. In there you can find books, you can find information about the school, you can send me your email and be part of our newsletter. It's free newsletter that we send here and there. And be in touch. We're gonna be making live videos too in YouTube. You can check our videos in Ancient Wisdom of the Feminine. Click subscribe and keep in touch. We are here to accelerate the process. We are here to open the doors of the world of the enchanted flower. We are here to connect you with the one that created you, that the only one that you need is you to connect. We are here to remind you who you are. I love you and I am you. I am your other you. Tlatsokomati, Tlatsokomati, Tlatsokomati.
Thank you for joining us for this episode. For books, pre-recorded video courses, or to join online school, or even to book a healing with Magdala Ramirez, please visit her website www.magdalas.com. That's MAGDALAS.com.